Once upon a time, there was a couple who longed for a child. They lived next to a garden that belonged to a wicked witch. One day, the wife saw some Rapunzel plants in the garden and craved for them. She asked her husband to fetch some for her. He agreed, but he was caught by the witch. She agreed to spare him on only one condition. He must give her the child that his wife would bear. The couple agreed, and soon they had a beautiful baby girl. They named her Rapunzel after the plant. The witch took her away and locked her in a high tower that had no stairs or doors, only a small window at the top. There, Rapunzel grew up, unaware of her true parents. She had long golden hair that reached the ground when she let it down. The witch would visit Rapunzel every day by climbing up her hair. She would call out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair," and Rapunzel would lower her hair through the window. The witch would then climb up and bring her food and clothes. She pretended to be kind, but she was actually very cruel. She forbade Rapunzel from ever leaving the tower or seeing anyone else. She told her that the world was full of dangers and evil people would harm her. Rapunzel was lonely and bored in the tower. She spent her days singing, reading, knitting, and braiding her hair. She made friends with the birds and animals that came to her window. She wondered what the world outside was and if there was anyone like her. One day, a prince was riding through the forest and heard Rapunzel's beautiful voice. He followed the sound and found the tower. He was enchanted by her singing and wanted to see her. He looked for a way to enter the tower, but he found none. He hid behind a tree and waited. He saw the witch call out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair," and Rapunzel lower her hair. He saw the witch climb up and disappear into the window. He waited until the witch left and then he tried the same trick. He called out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair," and Rapunzel lowered her hair. He climbed up and entered the tower. Rapunzel was startled to see a stranger in her room. She was afraid at first, but the prince spoke gently and kindly to her. He told her that he was a prince and that he had fallen in love with her voice. Rapunzel was amazed and delighted. She had never seen anyone so handsome and charming. Prince and Rapunzel eventually became friends. They made a plan to flee the tower. The prince would come every night when the witch was away and spend time with Rapunzel. They would talk and laugh. Rapunzel was happy and hopeful for the first time in her life, but their happiness was short-lived. The witch soon discovered their secret. She noticed that Rapunzel was glowing with joy and love. She realized that Rapunzel had a visitor and that she was planning to escape. She was furious and jealous. She decided to punish Rapunzel and the prince. One night, when the prince came to the tower, the witch was waiting for him. She had cut off Rapunzel's hair and tied it to the window. She let the prince climb up and then she revealed herself. She laughed wickedly and told him that he would never see Rapunzel again. She pushed him out of the window and he fell to the ground. He landed on some thorns that pierced his eyes and blinded him. The witch then took Rapunzel to a desert and left her there to die. She told her that she had betrayed her and that she would never find happiness. She laughed and flew away on her broomstick. Rapunzel was heartbroken and terrified. She had lost her hair, her lover, and her home. The prince, meanwhile, wandered in the forest, blind and hopeless. But fate had not abandoned them. After many months of wandering, they finally found each other. They wept tears of joy and sorrow as they met. A miracle happened. Rapunzel's tears fell on the prince's eyes and healed them. He opened his eyes and saw Rapunzel's face. He was overjoyed and thanked God for his mercy. They decided to leave the desert and return to the prince's kingdom. They mounted his horse and rode away. On their way, they met Rapunzel's parents, who had been looking for her for years. They were overjoyed to see her alive and well. They reached the prince's kingdom and were greeted by his people. They celebrated their wedding and their reunion. They lived happily ever after in the castle.